What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And today I wanted to share a video with you guys that I took from a recent live tarot reading. And in this video, I want to talk about how our fears or surrounding love basically just will attract more of the thing that we're fearing. So in other words, when we've been hurt, when we've gone through disappointments and frustrations, breakups, divorces, betrayals, loss, pain, all the things that can happen to us in regards to love and relationship, we get our heart broken, right? And maybe this happens multiple times throughout our lives. And if you've lived a hot minute, then it probably has. All that fear, all that trauma, all that pain that we go through affects our nervous system. And it creates patterns within us, patterns of self-preservation. And so most people spend most of their life and most of their time in self-preservation, trying to avoid a repeat of that same betrayal, loss, pain, breakup, and all these different things. And if we experience it enough times, then essentially we just, we become that thing. We begin to become somebody who's afraid of love. We fear love, even though we want love. It becomes a paradox, a contradiction within us, contrast in a way, where it's like we want the thing, but we're afraid of it at the same time. And so as we begin to look for love and move towards love, the minute that love starts coming towards us, because we're looking for it, we're desiring it, then we shrink away and we pull away. And so there's this tug of war going on. So when love, and I'm talking about true love, I'm not talking about hurt, I'm not talking about pain, I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about true love. When true love begins to, true love moves away from us, then we start to pursue it. But when love comes towards us, then we try to protect ourselves from it. And most people aren't conscious of their patterns. They're not consciously aware that this is what's happening. But eventually we will become the thing that hurt us if we're not careful. Because everything is energy. And the energy that we embody, the strongest energy or energies that we embody are the things that we will attract the most. So if you're spending most of your time in fear, pain, avoidance, or codependency and all these types of things, then those are the types of things you're going to attract into your life. It's just part of the law of attraction. I didn't make the law, but I've certainly experienced it firsthand in my life. So in this video, I'm break down this concept. Again, this is taken from a recent live tarot reading. I hope you guys enjoy the video. And just a brief word of warning, I do get a little bit passionate in my live tarot readings, and I do use adult language. So if there are sensitive ears nearby, just keep that in mind. Let's get to the video. Because you can't let this person go. And the reason that you can't let this person go is because your heart knows what your mind doesn't know. Your heart knows that this person is a fated person. Your heart knows that this isn't just some random person. Your heart knows that, no, this is like a fated, a special, unique connection. Now, recovery has to do with you and this person. Obviously, when you two came together, you were not ready for each other. And whatever happened, whatever caused this ending here, you both need to heal, you both need to learn, you both need to grow. All of that is all implied in that card. The prisoner is a result of you being stuck, which is, again, is a result of everything that I've said over here about your head is pulling you in one direction, your heart is pulling you in another direction. And no matter how hard you try to let this person go, you feel like a curse. You're cursed with their energy. Like, fuck, I just want to let them go. I just want to go out and be happy and find somebody and move on and find new love. That's what you want. That's what your mind wants. Your mind's like, yeah, let's do it. I'm good for that. Fuck that past person. Let's go find somebody new. Right? Let's go find the new person. That's what your mind is on board with, but your heart is not. And that's why you find it very depressing and very motivated. It's very hard for you to get motivated emotionally speaking. Like you could go out and you could probably have a fling. Like you could meet somebody and, you know, you could have an intellectual connection with somebody, and you could have an emotionless sexual encounter with somebody. People do that all the time. Primal, lust, no emotion, no heart. People do it all the time. People are having sex with other people all the time. And while they're having sex with that person, they're in their heart, they're thinking about somebody else. They're longing for somebody else. They're missing somebody else. They're desiring somebody else while they're having sex with this person. Happens all the time. So the prisoner energy here is basically just you feeling cursed because your mind is wanting you to let this person go, but your heart just can't. Now, the illusions is the confusion. This is just another, forget the word illusion that's on this card. It's really just confusion. And it's confusing because, again, your heart was wanting you to go one way, and your heart is wanting you to go one way, and your mind is wanting you to go another way. It's very confusing. So this favored card is about where your focus needs to be. Your focus needs to be on your spirituality, like you basically needing to turn in and consult with the divine inside of you. You finding you. Like you getting what is the answer inside of you? What's the real answer? When you push past the ego, when you push past the emotions, and you really have to, and I'm not telling you this is easy to do. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But it's not to say that it's impossible to do either. Because the divine is always ready to give us the answer when we're fucking ready for the answer. In fact, all a revelation or a realization is a moment where we are ready to accept the truth. Because that's all the divine can tell us, is the absolute truth. 100% truth. And the only reason that we don't get more messages from the divine is simply because we're not ready to hear the truth. We're not willing to accept it. We don't want to know what the truth really is. And it could be about anything. It could be about creativity, anything. It doesn't have to be about just romance. I mean, this is anything. When you're ready to receive the message, you get it. So anytime you've ever had an aha moment, a revelation, a breakthrough, a major, like, oh my God, wow. It's the only reason that you got it in that moment and not a year before that, or 5 years before that, or 10 years before that, or 10 years down the road. The reason you got it in that moment was because in that moment you were ready to receive it. You were ready to receive whatever that download was from the divine in that moment. And when we're not ready to receive it, we don't receive it. So this favored card is basically saying that the answer that you're looking for is not an emotional answer, and it's not an intellectual answer. It's a divine answer. But you have to be ready for the divine truth that comes along with it. Or another way for me to say it is what's in your highest good. And because that's there's only two non-negotiables that the divine has with all of us. The divine will not violate your free will, and the divine will never give you anything that's not in alignment with your highest good. So when we choose to be in alignment with what's in our highest good, that's what this favored energy is. This card represents a choice to be aligned with what's in our highest good. And that's a free will choice. That's why free will is the first non-negotiable, because it's the access point. It's the doorway to the second thing. We have to make a free will conscious decision to say, hey, there's the me that I am in my existence where I can do whatever the fuck that I want. It's my divine right. Your divine right. Everybody's divine right. While we're here in these avatar suits, these flesh bodies, running around in the sandbox, this virtual reality that we think is life, we get to do whatever the fuck we want, like a video game. You can do whatever you want. It's your free will. Or you can choose to say, okay, I know I can do whatever I want, but what if I use my free will choice to seek what's in my highest good? What is the divine truth? What is in my divine right, my divine inheritance? What's that path? There's the path that we can just do whatever we want. You come in here and you can do whatever the fuck you want. And then there's the divine path. It's the red and the blue pill. You take the blue pill, you stay in the matrix, you do whatever the hell you want. You take the red pill, you choose the divine path, you choose what's in your highest good, and you get to experience something totally different than what you'll experience by taking the blue pill and just blending in with the rest of society, doing everything the same way that everybody else does it, and believing that life is what everybody else thinks that life is all about. It's a choice. You can be plugged into the matrix, or you can be awakened to the divine reality that's awaiting you if you choose that path. In fact, Jesus talked about this in the Bible, in the scriptures. He said, many are called, few are chosen. He talks about the wide and the narrow gate, the wide path and the narrow path. And essentially, that's what he's referring to. He's talking about the red pill and the blue pill. And so the answer, all that saying, the answer for you lies within understanding that there's something even bigger at play beyond the confusion that you're feeling about this past person. There's something bigger at play here. Because this person that you're connected to, that you can't shake their energy, is actually a metaphor for a total other path in your life. Because the divine is saying, hey, to choose this person is to choose fate, destiny, the spiritual path. And that's why the divine brought you both together. Because the divine was hoping that you meeting him and him meeting you would wake you both up to the fact that you have a spiritual path to fulfill that you haven't been fulfilling. Because up to this point, you've both been taking the blue pill. And the divine wants you to say, hey, there's an opportunity now by you meeting each other and reflecting these things back to each other and learning and growing, all here in the recovery energy. Implied in the recovery energy is also learning, growing, awakening, and all that. There's an opportunity now for you both to realize that, hey, I don't have to live in the blue pill. I can take the red pill. There's a spiritual life. There's a call. There's actually something more to fucking life than what I thought that life just is, which is doing everything that everybody else is doing. Going to school, growing up, getting a job, adulting, paying bills, popping out some babies, going to Disneyland once a year, getting old, watching our kids grow up, retiring, and then dying. No, there's so much fucking more to living a spiritually fulfilled life than that shit. And that's what the divine is trying to show you. And there's also something profoundly different having a spiritual relationship with a spiritually awakened person. It's very different than having a casual relationship with somebody that you could just get by with, which you can do, because again, you have free will. You can find, there's roughly 8 billion human beings on the face of this planet, and half of them are the opposite sex. Assuming that you're an opposite sex person, and it doesn't matter if you are or you're not, but assuming you're into the opposite sex, you have roughly 4 billion choices out there waiting for you. One person out of 4 billion is going to be compatible with you. And you would be able to have the quote unquote blue pill life. You're going to get along, you'll be able to get married, and you'll be able to have your house, and all the typical normal things. And, that relationship go the distance. It's not impossible. Somebody out there will be able to provide that for you. However, there's also this. There's a divine connection that would give you access to a life and an experience that transcends any fucking blue pill type of a relationship that you could ever have. And the reason that your heart is so hung up on this past dude is because your heart caught a glimpse of it. Your heart caught a glimpse of the truth. Like, holy shit, I think he and I, like, we could have that. And your heart wasn't wrong, because that's where the divine lives. The divine is in your heart, not in your head. So the divine was whispering to your heart saying, hey, that person over there, if you guys can work this out, you have a profound potential of a future that you can't imagine what that would lead to, because it would transcend the blue pill life and all that shit. And that's why the excitement card is here. There's an excitement, there's a level of excitement of knowing that the possibility, that possibility exists. Now, we've already talked about this card. Let's move to the patterns. Now, the patterns brings in reality, because this is all unicorns, fairies, and fucking rainbows and spiritual woo-woo and all that shit sounds that I just said to you. Now we have to bring it down to reality. We're human beings, and no matter what spiritual connection you have, what twin flame, whatever person you meet, soul flame, soul connection, soulmate, whatever the fuck, all that doesn't matter. People are humans, and humans have problems, and humans, you know, like we're very complex people that live in a dualistic world. And we all have patterns. And part of the reason that this relationship didn't work in the past had to do with the patterns that you have and the patterns that he had. And that's one of the things that needed to be healed. The fortress over here is all about each person, whether you were consciously aware of it or not, and whether they were consciously aware of it or not. The fortress is a metaphor for somebody who values certainty and safety and security above everything else. And so people who want love, everybody says they want love. We all say that when we go out into the world. And for a very, very short amount of time, at the very beginning of the relationship, we will do as much as we have to try to get that person to like us. And that's essentially us coming out of our little fortress just long enough to do just enough, to show just enough, to hook the person just enough. It's the bare minimum possible that we give while still protecting ourselves and ensuring that we're not going to get hurt. That's one of the patterns. And it's not just a pattern with you, it's a universal pattern. Right? And so this is essentially saying that you and him were both playing it safe. There's 4 levels of love. Level 1 love. And hopefully the rest of you, even though this isn't your reading, hopefully the rest of you are listening right now. Because I'm not just talking to Worthy Queen. Level 1 love. Level 1 love is all about me. I don't care about anybody else. It's me, 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 me. It's complete self-preservation. I am here to get my needs met and only my needs met. Period. These are the people that get labeled as narcissists and all that kind of stuff. They're not here to give. They're not here to share. They're just here to get. And they'll do whatever they can to ensure that they're the ones that are on the getting and the receiving side. Period. It's all about me. Period. 100% pure selfishness is level 1 relationship. Level 2 love is what we call trading or whoring or negotiation. Meaning, I'm willing to give to you if you are willing to give to me. Trading. We're trading. Or we're whoring. We give to get. And that's the only way that the relationship works. As long as you're giving to me what I need, then I'll give to you what you need. That's level 2 love. Level 3 love is I'm here to give unconditionally. That's it. I'm just here to give unconditionally. Level 4 love is basically like God level love. You transcend even unconditional love to where you can love people that are literally hurting or killing you. So think Jesus on the cross. You know, Jesus is dying on the cross and he says, Father, forgive them. They know not what they're doing, referring to his killers. The people literally killing him and crucifying him, he's saying, forgive them. That's level 4 love. When you can literally forgive people that could destroy you and are like they're literally killing you, hurting you, and you have the level of unconditional love for the collective, for everybody, right? Most people spend their relationships in level 1 or level 2 love. They're either completely selfish or they're horse trading. And the reason for that is because of this. The fortress. Because their primary need, whether you're consciously aware of it or not, your primary need is to protect yourself at all costs. It's not to get love. You think you want love and you think that's why you're there, but it's really not. What's really driving you is security, certainty, a need to stay safe. And the reason for that is because of the ego. That's the job of the ego. The job of the ego is to keep you safe no matter what. That's how you know where you are in your personal growth. If the fucking ego's running the show, then certainty is the goal. Protection. Protect myself at all costs. Make sure that I don't get hurt. The problem with that is while you might be successful at not getting hurt, you're also going to be successful at not getting love. And that's why there's so many superficial surface level connections out in the world today. People don't want to go deep. People aren't emotionally available. People just go from one person to the other. The grass is greener. You're here. It's a fling, whatever. Everybody is playing at level 1 or level 2. Level 2 tops. That's most people, because most people are trying to protect themselves from getting hurt. And when you're protecting yourself from getting hurt, you're also ensuring that you don't get love. There's a difference between connection and love. Connection, you can get connection from anything. You can get a dog, get an animal, you can get a pet, get a plant. You can get a hobby, right? You can get connection from anything. Listen to music. Connection is available all the time. Love is something different. Love requires vulnerability, requires trust, requires intimacy. Love is courage, because love can fucking destroy you. It can hurt you. It can cause tremendous amounts of pain. Even if you do nothing wrong. Even if you find somebody that you meet and you're madly in love with them and they're madly in love with you and you treat them amazing, they treat you amazing, they could still die. A lot of times they do. People die all the time, tragically. All types of ways that people can lose somebody that they love and their relationship was great. It doesn't always have to be cheating or betrayal or divorce. There's lots of people who were madly in love with their person and that person tragically died. Some for whatever reason, heart attack, cancer, or died in a car wreck. Who knows what? Had a stroke. So the question that we have to be honest with ourselves about is we have to become consciously aware of what I was saying about the divine truth, because remember, the only way for us to receive a revelation is when we're ready for it. Well, this is an opportunity to be ready for the revelation of self-evaluation, of knowing where you are within yourself. In other words, how honest and real are you willing to get with yourself about this potential truth? And if that's true, and if you discover that it's true, that while yes, on one hand, you can say, I've been looking for love, but if it's actually more true through contemplation that you realize, wow, actually, now that I think about it, I actually have been trying to be safe more than getting love. That's really what I've wanted. I've been playing it safe. I've been trying to not get hurt. That's been the priority of my relationships. And so I'm going to say that again for all of you out there, because I know that Worthy Queen is not the only person out here in YouTube land that's going to have a relationship question tonight. So let's all learn, myself included. I'm just being the messenger right now, but I'm also being a student of life. I'm here to learn just like the rest of you. I'm setting myself aside to allow the divine to speak these things through me. So while it's all happening through me, there's a part of me that's observing this and learning as well. So I'm not, greater than or less than or anything. I'm just here learning like the rest of you. But this is a moment to get honest and to really evaluate what is true for you. Has your goal in your relationship, the primary goal in your relationship when it comes to love and romance, has your primary drive been to not get hurt? If you're really, really, really honest with yourself, has that been the number one priority? I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to be betrayed. I don't want to be lied to. I don't want to lose. I don't want to fail. And if you can be honest with yourself, and the answer to that is yes, that's badass. And you get all the respect in the world from me for being honest with yourself. And it's not between you and anybody else, by the way. This is between you and you. Because the truth is what sets us free. And if we can't tell ourselves the truth, it doesn't matter what the fuck other people think. We're not living their lives and we're not experiencing their consequences and they're not experiencing ours. Who gives a shit what other people think? It has nothing to do with them. They're not the ones who's going to come in and fix your problems and bring love into your life or not anyway. It's up to us to take control and power of our existence and take responsibility for our existence, to give ourselves what it is that we desire, to manifest that by who it is that we become, more importantly than knowledge or anything else. Because you don't attract what you desire, you attract who you are. You don't attract what you want, you attract what it is that you are. And if the current version of what you are is primarily focused on, I don't want to get hurt, then you're ensuring that you're never going to get the thing that you want called love. And so, that's a very sober-minded moment, realization, to have to sit with that and go, okay, well, if that's true, now we have a new decision, new opportunities come from new revelations. So what opportunities and decisions and choices are those? Do I want to make the priority of my life and my relationship goals is I just don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to get hurt. Because I can tell you and I can assure you that if that's the priority, then you're ensuring that basically you're going to attract the very thing that you are. So by making I don't want to get hurt the priority, you're ensuring that you're going to attract something to you that's going to give you that experience. You don't want to get hurt, so you're going to attract something that's going to hurt you, because that's what you are. That's what you become. I have become, I don't want to get hurt, so I'm going to basically attract something that I could get hurt from so that I can continue to not want to get hurt. Because in order for me to not want to get hurt means and implies that there is something hurting me. So you're just going to keep attracting something that's hurting you so that you can continue this. The pattern. What is the pattern? The pattern is I don't want to be hurt. So in order for you to not want to be hurt, that implies that you're being hurt. So if you want to stop that, then something has to change. You can't be focused on I don't want to be hurt anymore. That can't be the goal anymore. Because if the goal is I don't want to be hurt, then you're going to keep attracting people that are going to hurt you so that you can continue to have the goal of I don't want to be hurt. That's the pattern. That's what most people don't understand. That's what most people miss. And it feels right. It seems logic, seems like common sense. That's what the ego tells you. Because the brain gets involved and tells you, no, this is the most logical thing in the world. Yeah, I don't want to get hurt again. So I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I don't get hurt again. That seems logical. But just because it seems logical doesn't mean that it's in your highest good. Those are two totally fucking different things. And that's why we have to realize that we are more than our mind. You are not your mind. You are not your mind. You are not your thoughts. There's actually a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think. There's another book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Guess what the first chapter is? First chapter. The title of the very first chapter. You open the book, first chapter. You are not your mind. You are not your mind. You're not what you think. Don't believe everything you think. So many people over-identify with the thoughts and the shit going on in their head that they believe that they are their thoughts. They believe that they are this, the mind, the ego. The ego is running the show, not your fucking soul, not your consciousness, not your divinity. And spirituality wants to make it all this other bullshit. Spirituality wants to tell you, oh no, you're spiritual because you got, your crystals and your incense and your spiritual tattoos, and you got your astrology charts and your astrology books and your twin flames and your, all this spiritual paraphernalia. And they overcomplicate all this shit that has nothing fucking to do with anything other than being in the cool kids club. It's like, all right, cool. You want to be into the spiritual club because it's fairies and unicorn. It's like you listen to country music, somebody else listens to rock music. Like it's a genre. If you want to be in the spiritual genre and you like all the crystals and the woo-woo and that's like your flavor and that's how you get down, cool. I got some of that shit too. It's fun. Some of it looks cool. Some of it smells good. Some of it's interesting, But let's be sober and real about what those things actually are and what they're fucking not. Those things are not going to set you free, and those things do not have some type of magical power just because it's, categorized as spiritual and woo-woo. But yet you have a lot of these people out here in woo-woo land, spewing out information that's very ineffective, unhelpful, and, people buy into it because they're desperate. And when you're desperate and you want what you want, you're willing to believe anything. Even though most of those people don't have a fucking shard of proof of anything. You can manifest anything. Well, then why are you recording this out of your mother's fucking basement? If I can manifest my soulmate, twin flame, bajillionaire, perfect, beautiful life with my Ferraris and my Lamborghinis and my mansions and my whatever the fucks, how come you haven't done it? Why are you in your mother's basement recording a video telling everybody out here in YouTube land how to manifest their dream existence, but you haven't? Where's the proof? Show me the proof. Anybody can say anything. Anybody can offer a quasi-spiritual solution with no proof. And that's the problem with mainstream spirituality. And there's so much of that shit floating around on YouTube. It's extremely toxic. And so we have to cut through the bullshit to understand what is actually real based on cause and effect. Like there is, even though we're in a virtual reality, there's still rules within the virtual reality that are like they're real, like gravity. Gravity can't be, we can't argue gravity. If I drop something, it's going to fall to the fucking floor. 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000, 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000. Every time I drop something, it's going to fall straight to the ground. That's why it's called the law of gravity. It's a law. It is a hard core truth in fact. And you can conduct however many experiments you want to prove the result again and again and again and again. So why am I going on this rant? You're like, okay, Eddie, we get it. So why are you going on this rant? The reason I'm going on this rant is because, again, if the priority and the aim and the goal of the relationship is to not get hurt, it is a hardcore fact and law that you will continue to get hurt because you've made that the priority. That's how the law of attraction works. By not wanting this, you are attracting more reasons to give you this. It doesn't matter that you intellectually get, but I'm saying I don't want it. That's not how energy works. Energy doesn't give a shit whether you're trying to tell it how to function or not. It's like gravity. I can sit here and tell gravity all day long, don't fall to the ground. I want you to go into the air. I drop a brick, or I drop my keys, or I drop my shoes, or whatever. I drop it, and I demand that when I drop it, I demand that it float up into the air. Gravity doesn't give two shits what I demand. Gravity doesn't care what I think it should do. It just does what it does. That's how this works. So it doesn't matter that the intention is I don't want to be hurt. In the realm of energy or the law of quantum science, all that it knows is, oh, you have this resistance up. That's what energy is. Not wanting to get hurt is a resistance. It's an energy of resistance. It's a frequency. So in that frequency, there's another frequency that's attracted to it, which is, oh, okay, I get it. You want to be hurt because there's this energy of resistance over here that's caused by getting hurt in the first place. In other words, the only reason for anybody to not want to be hurt is because they've been hurt or they're hurting. So if you're carrying hurt and pain, or you're carrying the energy of the fear of hurt and pain, it's the same energy. So you're basically saying, hey, hurt. You're sending out a signal, a beacon saying hurt. Send me more hurt. Send me more hurt. Send me more hurt. But the way that your brain processes it is, oh my God, I don't want any more hurt. I don't want any more hurt. I don't want any more hurt. And that becomes the priority. And so the part of you that wants love, that part of you is there too, because you have a heart, right? You have a soul, and your heart's like, but I want love. I came here for love. That part is true also. But the more predominant, the stronger energy is, I don't want hurt. And so you're just going to keep getting more hurt because that's the priority. You're making the priority and the goal, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. And that's why, again, if you're honest with yourself, which hopefully, if most of you are real and you look within yourself and you sit with yourself and you're honest, you'll know if that's true or not. And again, that's between you and you, not between anybody else. And if you know and you find that that's true, well, it's not a death sentence. It's not you're cursed to have that forever. But what it does mean is it means you're going to have to do something uncomfortable. And that's called courage. Because love is fucking courage. Period. Love is the most courageous thing you're ever going to do. Which means that despite how many times you've been hurt, despite all the reasons why, you should be protecting yourself. There's a bigger part of you that knows when and how to take a calculated risk. So I want you guys to be crystal clear, God forbid. What I'm not telling you to do, I'm not telling you to be stupid. I'm not telling you to be dumb. I'm not telling you to be ignorant. I'm not telling you to just let anybody and everybody come into your life, treat you however they want to treat you. I'm not telling you not to have boundaries. I'm not telling you to do, to go through the right steps, the right motions, the right processes to make sure that, you're qualifying the people who come into your life. I'm not telling you to not, ignore a red flag. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying you do need to do those things. That's different. Being wise and discerning about who you allow into your heart space and who you share love and intimacy with, that's wisdom. We should all be doing that. That's not the same thing as I don't want to be hurt at all costs. Because those are two totally different energies. Because the person who's practicing wisdom can confidently walk forward, and they can have an open heart space. They're in control of the door. They control the door. They know when they want to open the door. They know how wide they want to open the door. They are the ones who control how much comes in and how much goes out. But when the ego is in control, then you're not in control. The ego is like everything stays out, period. And when everything stays out, then you're going to play love at level 1 or level 2. It's either going to be all about you, period, or you're going to be, I'll trade with you. And usually when it's trading, it's bare minimum trading. And that's where a lot of the manipulation goes in. We go in, we barter, right? It's like, I want that from you, but I want it at this price. You have that $1,000 item over there, but I want you to sell it to me for $20. That's what most of us do. We want our partner to give us this immense amount of value for the cost of pennies. Like, well, I'm going to give you this. Here's a couple pennies. Now you give me thousands of dollars worth of love and admiration and satisfaction. And it's like, that's how most people are. So even at level 2, when you're trading to give to get, people start getting really cheap really fast. It's like how many times have you guys had an experience where when you first met somebody, they were doing all the things. They did this for you. They did that for you. They did this for you. And then, you get into the relationship a little bit and all of a sudden they stop doing all the things. Like, what the fuck happened? Why'd you stop doing all those things? You were doing this, you were treating me that way, and you're this, all the compliments and all these things. And all of a sudden, slowly but surely, the more you get involved into the relationship, it's like the less and less and less and less giving. It's like that person's like pulling back more and more and more and more. How many times you guys had that experience, right? This is why. So this is extremely important for you guys to understand here. And I know this is Worthy Queen's reading still, but there's a lot here in her reading that we can all learn from. And it's obviously applicable for her as well. So now let's move past all of that. So there's a second chance. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.